好嘞，好嘞。
Not gonna lie, chat. Between... Oh, shit. Ah! No, you can see how the sausage is made. Oh, no. Hold on. No, I was gonna say something cool, but I can't now because the illusion's been broken. So, I guess we just gotta come up, huh? You gotta come on up. Hello, everyone. My name is Draft Stev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight we're going to be finishing up, we're probably going to be finishing up WWE 2K24's Women's MyRise storyline. What? You... Oh, I see. Hold on. I didn't set him up properly. It's always something with this guy. Hold on. I know that it was Joe Hendry. I know that much. Let me re-queue him. Bro! No, you are gonna come out here and you're going to fucking like it. Get out here. Dude! Are we gonna be doing this all night? Lure him out with Cheetos. Let's try and do something a little bit generic with him. Give me a second. Where are you, TTS bot? I'm pretty sure he's just gonna be out of commission, everyone, for today. In fixing my shit, I couldn't fix that. I swear. I'm trying. I'm giving it my all. I'm giving it my all, chat. I'm getting everything I got, but I don't think he's gonna be in commission for today. I mean, you can still make him say this, I think. You go get him. I think you can make him say Ara Ara.
Alright.
He perpetually has his mouth open. I'll be honest, I think they waited a little too long to pull the trigger. You could have done it at Bound for Glory, but you didn't. You did not do that. And I will never understand why. I'm just gonna have to say that... Hold on. Homunculus out to lunch today. Manually unpinned her and to stream. Homunculus is out to lunch today. There you go. That'll unfortunately have to be how it is for the evening. Can I get a refund, please? Let me see. Here, how about this? What would you like to have on your TTS?
Hello, Mario.
Forgot the space. That's what it's yelling at me about. What? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Let's see how to refund channel points. This right here is a professional stream. Refund. I gotta go into the whole thing, dude.
Hello, Mario.
Warms my heart to see you go live. It warms my heart to see you here, Patch. Hello, welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. I need to... You gotta do a couple things. Rewards request queue. Open the sound alert dashboard, go to channel point. Where do you want to refund? I'm literally looking up a fucking video guide, chat. I'm a very professional Twitch streamer. What if I just fart a few times? Will that be good enough for you tonight, Doomslayer? If I redeem enough farts equating to the amount that it takes to request the homunculus, will that be good enough for you tonight? What if I do that? Will that be a suitable substitute for whatever it is that you need? It'll stink, but it'll do. Okay, cool. I got you. I got you, bro. This stinks, dude. I'm literally gassing up my own goddamn stream here. One gassy giraffe. Listen, I've been chugging dairy for like the past few days. I have all this yogurt and I'm over here making smoothies and like ice cream milkshakes and shit. That lactose intolerance isn't in me yet, but I'm sure bringing it about. I'm forcing it, dude. But yeah, hi everyone. How are you all doing tonight? I was going to say that between, you know, like earlier tonight and fixing up my stream, I'll be in tech in no time. Didn't know giraffes were lactose intolerant, but today I learned. I'm thankfully not lactose intolerant yet. I could get there at some point, but for now I'm drinking all the smoothies and all of the milkshakes that I want. All right. I'm a free raff living in the free world. All right.
Oh my God! Oh!
I'm pretty sure that's not dairy. But yeah, I was gonna say that between fixing up my DualSense controller and my stream, I'll be in tech in no time. Speaking of that, keep on raffing in the free world. I am the boss. But yeah, I fixed up my DualSense, everyone. I fixed up one of my DualSense controllers that were experiencing stick drift. I literally took that thing apart. I took some rubbing alcohol to like the contacts, and I cleaned it. What should LBC's flagship show be called? We gotta brainstorm a little bit on that now, don't we? Because, really, it depends on what what do you consider the main show? Thursday nights or Saturday nights? We gotta come up with the lore. We could call it, like, Breakneck or something. Although Breakneck doesn't really, like, land because, like, breakneck is like an adjective, right? Although raw's not really a noun either. Like, when you look at a raw piece of meat, you don't say, oh, that's a... You don't say, that's a raw. You say, that's raw. Calling something a raw doesn't make any fucking sense. Alright? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you don't look at a piece of beef and say, that's a raw. You say, that's a raw piece of beef, or that's raw. You don't just say, that's a raw. Thursday is our Raw Dynamite. Would you say Raw's the main show, or is, like, SmackDown the main show now? Unless you're Gordon Ramsay. That's fucking raw! Yeah. Yeah, Thursday is our Raw and Dynamite. That's when, like, the wrestling stuff happens, right? That's when we're going to be doing stuff like this. That's when we're going to be doing Wrestling Empire probably next week. Saturday is our role-playing game night. That's when we do stuff like Dragon Quest or Yakuza Like a Dragon, so on and so forth. Really anything that involves dragons, to be honest. Dragons are cool, alright? Especially the fuzzy ones. I honestly think since Raw came out before SmackDown, it's the main show. Well, yeah, but the hierarchy can change over time. I mean, I guess it depends on how invested in the Bloodline stuff you are, right? Because if you're, like, invested in the Bloodline stuff, because that's, like, their main thing, right? Aside from whatever's happening with Cody. Roman Reigns and his family drama, that's like the main thing. And usually that takes place on SmackDown. So I guess it kind of depends. Although, sure. I digress, though. Thursday is our Raw or Dynamite. Meanwhile, Saturday is our Collision or SmackDown. Collision is where you get the best of me, though, alright? Like, Collision is where the best wrestling happens. Over there, on Saturday night, that's where the best banter happens, because I'll usually have a friend on, and we'll be... it will just be riffing. Taking bets on whether or not Shawn Michaels is going through a table at Saturday night main event. Wait, didn't that already happen? There ain't no way Shawn Michaels is going through a table at his old age. Although he might. Did Saturday night's main event not happen yet? No, it had to have happened. Like, we're almost past January. I mean, the Rumble's like next week, right? He's going to be monitoring the contract signing. Wait. Hold on. You're fucking with my head. What? Where? Wait, does NXT have its own Saturday night's main event? One Husky Boy, hello there. Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. Contract between Cody and Kevin Owens. What? Okay, hold on. No. WWE Saturday night's main event. Huh. What? I could have sworn that already happened. Well then, what was December's pay-per-view? What was, like, the December pay-per-view? What was the show that took place in December? Because I thought that was Saturday night's main event also. Hey, Zach. Contract. They didn't do a pay-per-view in December. NXT did that. Well, why am I looking at, like, December, and it says December 14th, Saturday night in Long Island? And why does Cody look like he, like, aged by 20 years in this promo art? Ah! Like, hold on. I'm gonna show you guys this. Because this image fucks me up. Why does Cody look like he, like, aged by 15, 20 years? They announced during the one last month that they doing one in January. So is it like a monthly thing? Is this just what we're doing? Is this like what we're doing now? Where like Saturday night main event is like just this weird tertiary show that they have every month? I guess it's what they're doing. This feels excessive, doesn't it? I don't know. But either way, let me get the thing. Like, why does Cody look like that he's about to be put into the retirement home? Give me a second here, chat. You're seeing my stuff here. Give me just a second. That right there. Bro is like the one gif of like the Saving Private Ryan thing or whatever it is, or like the Metal Gear Solid, where like Big Boss is like smoking the stogie, and he's like aging by like 50 years in like 5 seconds. No, like his face also looks like scrunched, right? He like looks like that he had a warhead. That's crazy. But no, that's besides the point. I did, in fact, yeah, the 14th was Saturday night's main event on NBC. So wait, they're having one that's like a pay-per-view? And they're having one that's on NBC? Well, it's getting closer to 40, you know. Well, 40's not that old in wrestling. Like, CM Punk is like 48? How old is CM Punk? Oh no, I'm gonna feel old now. 46. Okay, well that's not too old. Like, CM Punk is like 46 years old, right? How old is Dustin? Dustin Rhodes. 55. He's gonna turn 56 in a couple months? That's insane. That's crazy. Maybe he just ages differently than others. I don't know. I'm just poking fun. It's fine. But no. Tonight, we're gonna be finishing up, hopefully, WWE 2K24's Women's MyRise with our friend Gina. Last time we saw her, she got turned on by her best friend, the co-promoter at TBD. She she found out that all this time she was logged into an exclusivity contract with TBD. So her Women's World Championship title win has been made null and void, and now it's a question of, will she be able to get out of this lifetime deal, or is she just going to be stuck on the indies forever? Dustin, aka Gold Dust. That's his prisoner name. No, I'm kidding. But no, we're gonna hopefully get to the conclusion of this story here tonight, because I'll be honest, chat, I'm a little ready to move on. And also, with 2K25 coming soon, I want to be able to say that we had this finished in time for it. Hey, at least I didn't call him 7. Don't call him 7. Also, don't call him... What the fuck was that one gimmick that he had in WCW that he just... where, like, he just walked out, and everyone... and, like, from the jump, he was just shitting on it. Oh, 7 and Black Rain. Those are, like, the two that we don't talk about. We don't talk about either of those, especially Black Rain. Wasn't a pay-per-view, it was a 2-hour special that was just all wrestling. Also at the first Women's US Champ. Oh, okay.
Well, that didn't go quite like I thought it would.
No, it didn't. Willie.
No, it did not. What are we gonna do?
So some bad news about that. Geneva sent a photo of the TBD contract illegal, and the napkin checks out.
But it's on a napkin!
A legally binding napkin. You're still signed to TBD. And as long as that's the case, you can neither be WWE Women's World Champion nor a WWE Superstar.
You're not serious?
Unfortunately, I am. The title will revert back to Bianca.
For
Becky will have an opportunity.
Thank you for the resub, Zach. 15 months, Jesus. We can fight this.
Gotta be something we can do to fight this.
Just because 7, here's something that made me question something. What? They have me out here dressed up like Uncle Fester. I don't... like, listen. Listen. WCW's worst quality was when it would just come out and just shit on the gimmicks that it's trying to put over. If there's one thing that WCW was really good at, it was making sure that people's investment in certain aspects of their product was for nothing.
I wish there was, but my hands are tied. Good luck out there. It's been something.
Man, Will, you're just gonna walk away? Dude, I'm stuck. I'm stuck here. Screw it. We're just gonna go closer to being that bitch. Which one's gonna get us to 94? Resilience, cool. We're 94 overall. Man, we're really encroaching on that Rhea Ripley overall, chat. So I was watching 99 Nitros for a bit next week. Oh, you poor soul. And the first few promos for 7 aired before Russo came in. So I was like, then whose idea was it? I don't know. WCW's creative by that point was starting to get into a tailspin. He's going back to AEW like Joe. Wait, who is? Who is? Oh, William, right. I meant what I said. See you next week. I'm angry. Go to hell, Geneva. She's violating the Geneva Conventions. Oh, you're angry? It doesn't change a thing. And since you're a big shot now, I'll be asking a lot of you. Starting with a 2-on-1 handicap match next week. I'm your biggest draw, and you're putting me in this situation? Fine. You know, I'll just mow through all your stars. That way they'll be begging for you to release me. We gotta injure everybody, chat. Tonight we gotta injure everyone. Speaking of injuring people, we're probably going to have to run an ad here in a second. We're probably going to need to run an ad here in a few seconds, chat. Bring in the Hall of Pain. The Hall of Pain. I was watching Joel Vinesauce's playthrough of Mr. Bones, and there is a level that's literally called the Hall of Pain. And it's one that he was stuck on for like a while. So anytime that he restarted the level, I was just thinking of Mark Henry. Because the level title would show up, it's the Hall of Pain, and I just thought of Mark Henry.
It's almost time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Man, okay. What the hell? They stole Gira's shit! You hearing this music, chat? Recognize it? Sounds familiar? That's illegal. So not only are we stuck in a not only are we stuck in a bullshit contract, but this promotion is actively encroaching on other people's gimmicks. We gotta get out of here, chat. This place ain't good for us. Fine, you know what? That just makes it doubly so. I'm going after her first. She's gonna pay for infringing on my brother's gimmick. That chick's J's are totally fake. Your Jordans are fake as fuck. One of my favorite memes that I've seen recently is one that my roommate showed me, and it was like Megatron and Optimus Prime. And Megatron's like, Optimus, your J's are fake as fuck, and then Optimus fucking dies. Alright, here we go. Defeat Andrea Cannons and Pretty Ruthless. It doesn't matter what or who Geneva throws at you. Prove you deserve everything you ever got by defeating them by pinfall or submission. Well, first we need to run an ad.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Raw rolls on after it. Raw rolls on after this. She hasn't even considered getting Spotify Premium. She probably doesn't know what a Spotify is. She probably still collects tapes like a boomer.
Donkey Kong Country. What makes this game so remarkable is that it's the first game created with fully rendered graphics.
I'm gonna go and get a refill on water, chat.
To put it in a nutshell, fully rendered means that the characters and all other graphics were created by computer modeling from all sides and angles of the objects. Thus, animation is totally complete and uninhibited using any view of the object. The technology is not incredibly different than that which was used to create the dinosaurs of Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park or the Wonders of the Mask. One of the best examples of the 3D rendering in this game is the water level. The shark, also known as Chomps Jr., is an incredible sight. The animation of everything in the game, as well as all the backgrounds, were created with rendering techniques on the Silicon Graphics computers. This amazing new technology, discovered at Rare by Nintendo's Tony Harmon, will be the next standard in video game animation and graphics. This technology marks a new era. The programmers of Donkey Kong Country were able to stretch their creative minds since Donkey Kong doesn't have a particularly detailed history. The main idea of the story is that you're trying to get back the bananas that were stolen from your stockpile. Kong, Diddy are the main monkey characters, but throughout the travels on the island of Donkey Kong Country, you'll encounter several characters that are extremely diverse in personality.
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Named Espresso to a rhino named Rambi.
Welcome back to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting, everyone. Hold on.
Cranky
Woo!
Kong, the star
Hello.
of the original game and also DK's grandfather, will give you advice throughout the game. He thinks you need it. Hundreds of bonus levels result in a game that will never be boring.
Hello, Mario.
Music also adds a lot to the game.
Soul, hello there. Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting.
You can buy the music on CD.
Play
from
aloud in
Nintendo
stereo,
if your
Soul.
Nintendo isn't hooked up to a stereo system.
And Solio.
Donkey Kong remembers music in the old days, but Donkey Kong is truly with the times, so to speak. His music
With the
is
times, with a
listening.
boombox.
Just pause the game to hear the music
He'd
without
also just say
any sound
back in
effects.
my day
Speaking of sound
stuff.
effects, you'll notice the quality of the echoes in the caves and Donkey Kong's ape noises.
That other person we're fighting. They're like Cranky
Donkey Kong
Kong.
Country is truly perfect. If you do not get this amazing new generation of Donkey Kong madness, you are stupid.
We need to get through this ad and then we're gonna be free for half an hour, chat.
Game fan, you will not hesitate in the slightest bit to buy this remarkable piece of video game history.
So like vinyl is the thing again, right? Are tapes a thing again? Is that like part of like going back? Is that part of the trend of going back to
Bottom
physical
line,
media?
Get it now.
You
The
are
graphics an
stupid.
example of a
Damn,
revolution.
George. I mean, I know
Flight
that.
control
You
is
can't
very
listen.
responsive and monkey feeling.
You
The
cannot
challenge
hurt
is
me
high
with what I
because
already
you must
know,
often pass
alright?
several hard levels to reach
You cannot
the
hurt me
save
with what
point.
I already know.
The two-player game option is awesome, since you can press A to let another player play. What's even cooler is the way the game lets the next player pick up where the last player died without interrupting gameplay. If you want the other player to play, just press A. These features and so much more make Donkey Kong Country
I still
the
love how
game
this
of the
one just
decade.
ends. I think going back to Blu-ray or DVD should be fine. VHS isn't a great format TV. Take it from an old timer. Are you saying you still don't have your VCR and like your 30-year-old tapes? Blasphemy. I still have my copy of Toy Story from the 1600s still wrapped in its tinfoil. Just like it was back in the days when my dear old dad pulled up on his sea lion and gave it to me after days of tilling in the fields. It was my great pleasure. Wrapped in tinfoil, so hear me out. LBC implosion. What would that even look like? I just quit Twitch? What the fuck would that even look like? Spoiler, that just looks like me leaving Twitch. The upside to Taints was recording off of TV, but like, we can get stuff anyways, and LMAO. I have recordings of the first Green Ranger episodes of Power Rangers for years. I never learned how to like record with a blank tape. I never really had blank tapes. Implosion as the flagship show. Implosion.
Hello, Mario.
Well, as a Dynamite fan, Implosion makes me feel... It reminds me of, you know... Ow! It reminds me of AEW. Also, hey Joe, what's up? We'll put Implosion down as a possibility, okay? You guys think of more while I go and cook these bitches. I'm gonna put you on the shelf! What up? Not much. I'm feeling very accomplished tonight, Joe. Because I'm playing with a DualSense that I fixed myself. I'm so smart, chat. Invite me over to fix your sink. I can probably do that too. I thought the same thing. Implosion gives Dynamite TNT vibes. Isn't there like a TNA show called Implosion? Isn't that like their B show? Or am I thinking of something else? We can also call it Horsepower, perhaps. LBC Horsepower? That sounds pretty good. I think it was Impact TNT. I don't know about that. I'm gonna go and punch these jobbers in the next week. There you go. I might be mistaken. Explosion, I think it was. Let me check. Ah, we got explosion and implosion. We do horsepower and breakneck. Listen, I enjoy putting in horse or neck in one of these titles, okay? I feel like we gotta. I am going to injure you. TNA explosion. Oh, the X. Okay. For extreme. Dude! She cannot touch me. Hell yeah. In and out. To the pay window. Squashed. And I also injured her torso. Every single person in this Fed will fall before me. TNA explosion, and I'm pretty sure they've brought that back for like their new era, which like lasted for a month before Anthem went and ruined it. I guess it was cool that you took on 2 opponents at once. Oh wait, I'm not impressed. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here because I have no choice. You want to keep doing this and hiding from me at the arena? Fine. There's no match you can book that I can't win. Oh? Then I can't wait to see if you can still run a gauntlet. Win or lose, you have to fight every woman on the roster you abandoned. You told me to go to Raw! Whatever. Don't care. Oh, did you hear? Becky Lynch won the Women's World Championship from Bianca. I guess Bianca was rusty after only defending against you. She's so salty, dude. She is a whole entire salt mine. The entire salt mine. Can't believe Gina's actually back at TVD Wrestling. Is it bad that I kind of get a kick out of seeing her back here? Yes! Archer of Infamy. After what happened on Raw, I had to check on the TVD Wrestling feed. Rad. Following the company's rebranding to the TNA name on January 13, 2024, Explosion relaunched as a web series on January 26, replacing BTI before the Impact. Well, there you go. I also thought of Safari, following onto the draft theme, but didn't think it would work for this show. I feel like that would be a good faction name, the Safari. That'd be cool. The man sure looks good in gold. Hashtag champion. Alright, cool. Well, you know what? They can throw every single woman on this roster at us. We are bigger than every single one of them, figuratively and literally. Run the TVD gauntlet. Let's see how many women are on this roster. Run the TVD gauntlet and win. I don't know, chat, like, with the build that we have, it almost feels trivial, you know? Like, we're just so obviously better than every person here, you know? Gina's just so obviously base and goated. But hey, at least this gives me an opportunity to quickly injure everyone on this roster. Everyone's gonna have back pain by the time we're done. Every person's gonna have that back pain by the time we're done with them. Ah! I can't believe William Regal left us here. He left us here to rot. The bastard. Backdraft should be a pay-per-view of the LBC. We need... Doomslayer, you need to, like, write this down, alright? You gotta, like, write this down, man. You're giving my multitasking ability too much credit here. If we ever create, like, an E-Fed, which I think would be fun, we gotta, like, have these written down, you know? We gotta have this shit, like, on a napkin somewhere. Yeah, I didn't think you would. I didn't think you would, mate. Man, powerbomb for jeez! Ow! Duly noted, El Presidente. I am going to put you on the shelf. How many people can we give back pain to? No. We're not done yet. Every single woman on this roster is gonna get some back pain. Nice to Gina to help short people reach things. She is simply based in that way. No, chat, while we're over here doing things, I may as well kind of talk to you a little bit about just what I've been up to lately. Mostly, like, with games and stuff like that. Aside from just, you know, life sort of being what it is, I'm on my Marvel kick again. I recently played through all of Spider-Man 2 this week. My roommate was going on and on and on about how he didn't like the story in this one as much as the first one. And I kind of agree with it. I feel like that certain things needed more time to simmer and more time to cook. Because, like, the stuff they have with Kraven is, like, really, really good. Right? I enjoy, like, the storyline that he has. But the symbiote stuff, which should be the primary focus of the story, really. I mean, it was all over the marketing. It just wasn't given... It wasn't really given, like, the stuff it needed to really simmer, you know? It feels rushed in a lot of ways. Like, the Venom arc really only lasts for, like, 6 missions. And then the game's over. There's also, like... I know the game is, like... I mean, the game is out for, like, 15 months. If you have played it at this point, you know, you will have, you know... It's all the story, and if you haven't yet, you probably don't have much intention to. So, with that in mind, there is a segment where Mary Jane gets infected with the symbiote. Because, like, Venom infects him, rather her. And she turns into Scream, right? And there's, like, a whole boss fight with her. But that's, like, the only time that she's infected with the symbiote. Bark on with one slam? Damn it, Gina. Damn, Gina. Listen, she's strong. She's incredibly strong. Marble rivals. I'm getting to that, too. But there's a whole boss fight, like, with Scream, right? And that's, like, the only time that you see her in the story. It's like, in the same mission, she gets infected, you have the boss fight, and then she's not infected anymore. And it's, like, treated like this big moment. And I feel like... And just, like... It doesn't feel earned, you know? It feels like a story beat that should be given more significance. But they basically rushed through that the entire, like, arc, or rather what would be that arc, in, like, in a 7-minute boss fight. And it feels very undercooked, you know? So once again, the symbiote stuff just kind of falls victim to having too many cooks in the kitchen, you know? and where there's another story that's supplementing it, which would be fine if there was more time given to it, but there just wasn't, you know? I do think the stuff that they had with Miles was, like, really good, though. I enjoy kind of, like, the overarching thing that he had going on, like, with Mr. Negative, and trying to find it in him to move on from the death of his father. I am I'm not pinning anyone in this match until they have, like, a chest injury. Until then, I'm just gonna keep kicking the shit out of them. Injured. She breaks backs, chat. Get out of here. Go to a local medical facility. For a cut. Looking like Max the Impaler over there. But yeah, like, aside from, like, the weird bits of the story, the gameplay in Spider-Man 2 is, like, on a completely other level. These are just jobbers from my GM. Oh yeah, I figured that much. Oh my god, she really does look like Max the Impaler. Just a little thinner. You're like, I'm not feeling any stick drift, chat. I fixed this up real good. Screw it. We're giving you head trauma. We're giving you head trauma. Yep. I'm giving you head trauma. Head trauma, mama. Yeah. I will put you on the shelf. I'll help you reach the high places. But no, along with Marvel Spider-Man, I've also been playing quite a bit of Marvel Rivals. I will say, not very good. I'm not very good at the game at all. So not good, in fact. Expecting R-Truth to run in here because he keeps seeing the R-Truth signs. Gina the baby face. I'm gonna injure the entire locker room just because I don't like your boss. Well, listen, the circumstances that we're trapped in, bullshit. Okay, we are totally justified in us giving people concussions and back pain. You know, we're completely justified in our rage. Our rage is totally justified because it's R-Truth, the GOAT. Very fair. Very fair. So wait, are we just doing, like... Are we doing... Hold on. Hold on, ow! Pathetic. Please. One shot. Dude, imagine that you kept her on the roster and this is just what happens. Just putting everyone on the shelf and just hoping that your boss will just let you go. Come on. No. I'm not done with you yet. I have another GTS for you. Another one. Another one. CTE City. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Wait, that's it? That's the entire roster? Bruh. I'm not finished with you. The Braun Strowman type beat. By being a real actual risk who takes liberties. Justified release, LMAO. Yeah? What kind of women's division is that, LMAO? 1999 WWF. You couldn't even get Alley Catch for this. Shame. Well, that was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Listen, I got to take out all of my aggression. Well, that was fun. Why did you force me back if you don't even want me here? Does petty jealousy really go that far? Oh, it sure does. I want to make you hurt. Speaking of, I got a real treat next week. A special guest from your old WWE stomping grounds in your favorite match. TBD rules. What a WWE veteran did you swing an appearance from? Waste of time. I've beaten everyone on that roster. Remember, I was champion before you stole it from me. And TBD rules is my match. Yeah, but I think this one will make you hurt in just the right way. I'll squash them too. You are clearly... Wow, Gina's really going for it in TBD wrestling. Hashtag respect. I don't know if I want respect from Raquel Rodriguez. But you know what? Fine. Breaking. WWE NXT superstar Psycho Sally comes home to TBD to face Gina in a TBD rules match. No DQ, false count anywhere, anything go. No! No. Okay, listen, I'm not gonna take any liberties with Psycho Sally. The moment that I can beat her, I'm beating her. Because we're 94 and she's like 67. So we can like bring her down just by breathing on her. Psycho Sally, isn't she like a -4 rating? She's like in the 60s. Gina could beat her just by breathing on her. We cannot take liberties with our girl here. We cannot take liberties with our anxiety queen. Oh, so higher than Nikki Cross for whatever reason. And Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell's like lower 60s, dude. She's down horrendous. It's terrible. Where do you think she learned that from? She picked it up from me, CM Pone. Picked up what from you? Oh, the GTS. Yeah, she's higher up than Nikki Cross and Indy Hartwell, which, you know, that's something. That's a little thing that you never thought that you would get to see. Alright. And Valhalla. Maybe Valhalla. I don't know. What is Valhalla's overall? Sally, no! Just lay down on the floor, okay? I won't think any less of you if you just lay down on the floor. I may have injured everyone else, but I don't need to injure you, okay? Watch, I'm gonna injure her the most terribly. 61, 62, I think? Okay, then yes. Psycho Sally is also better than Valhalla. Rhinestone eyes are like factories far away. Alright, chat. It's Psycho Sally with a signature move. Your student is now the ringer brought in to hurt you. Show her you have a few tricks left up your sleeve by blitzing Sally with a signature move. So wait, you're fine with this? No! No. Fine. Okay. What do we want to do, chat? I feel like we need to do... we gotta do this. Psycho Sally has a completely unreadable gimmick just looking at her LMAO. Yeah. I'm just gonna... We just gotta go in here, light her up, and take her, and then take it home. No! Ow! Sally, please, no. You do not want this smoke, dude. You do not want this. You don't want this. No! do not want this. But I'll have to give it to you anyways if you're insistent on it. She has a completely unreadable gimmick. Her fucking gimmick is that she just cannot read a situation, really. No! Ow! No. Don't make me hurt you, Sally. Please. I will if I must, though. Yeah, like, this is no DQ. So she can do whatever she wants to me. Listen. The only reason that Gina's getting her ass kicked like this is because she's holding back. She doesn't want to hurt Sally. So he's letting her get her shit in, that way she doesn't need to fight. Sally's offense barely phases her anyways. She got that Jamie Hader flow. No, I'm not gonna hurt you. Sally needs to learn from fellow rookie Tony Storm on how to develop a gimmick. I see big things for Tony TVH. Same here. Same here. She'll be women's world champ in like a year. Watch. In less than a year, in fact. No. Whoa, Jesus. Come on. Please, no. Taunt Sally outside the ring. Okay, fine. Alright. Attack Sally with a weapon at ringside. Fine. Come on. Gina's only fronting. She doesn't actually want to use the chair. At ringside. Does this count? Sure does. Why won't you die? No, psychosis! On the outside! That barely does anything, but now she's starting to feel the effects. We're not worthy? Is that what you're saying? No, Sally needs to develop a gimmick, and you know what? With the kind of gimmick that Tony Storm has, I think she could give some pointers, some pretty good ones, honestly. Strike Sally near the entrance side of the ring. Oh, okay.
In a heartbeat.
What?
And it's supposed to make me feel bad? Think so?
No.
Is it working?
No. Gets striked in the chest, uses her, sells the face. So wait, is that the end of the match? No. Oh my God, they're going up to the sign. They're going up onto the sign, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between.
Hello, Mario.
That mutant is holding back. Oh, we're getting indie-rific. Listen, if we're gonna be stuck in this hellhole, we gotta make it count. All right? No! No! Don't injure her! We already injured everyone else! Don't do it! Gina, no! Long live the queen. Oh no. Wait, no. Sally! You're so strong! Long live the queen. Ooh! What? Wait. No, come on. I had no say in the matter.
Hit her again.
Boo! Boo! This is the second game in a row.
I don't want to hear it. For someone who cares so much about taking care of the business, you're not taking care of your own right now.
Tell her, queen. Tell her like it is, queen. Yeah, that was so rigged. That was
It's
so
almost time
incredibly
for a
rigged.
90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
We couldn't win that. Notice he ran away again as soon as I was able to stand. Wise choice. Sally's right. This issue is between you and me. Finally something we agree on. So get off your damn phone and face me in the ring. I'm tired of waiting. Let's do this tonight. Fine. As soon as the fans clear out, it's on. In the empty TVD theater, just like the day we got the keys to this place. See you out. Dude, it's a halftime heat match. What? It's
break
halftime
time.
heat.
Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Well, I guess we're back with that when Raw rolls on after this.
Konami also treads
Konami,
sequel
okay, I need to
territory with
piss, chat. I'll be
Castlevania
back in a sec.
Symphony of the Night. Although we found the game to be a disappointment, we couldn't help but be sucked into the game.
Nope.
The game expands dramatically as you find
Wrong
new
button.
passageways and secrets within Dracula's castle. We think the game is fun, but again, way overhyped. This is a traditional 2D platform experience with no in-game cinemas or anything to set it apart from previous Dracula outings. The unification of side-scrolling action and character-building RPG elements is unique and impressive, but almost unnoticeable in terms of the effect on gameplay. The challenge is very high. We got far into the game, but still felt far from the end. The different areas of Dracula's castle are well designed, and in many cases, a sight to see. The artistry and detail is readily apparent, particularly in the backgrounds. The setting is very convincing, as everything looks Romanesque or Gothic. Besides the overdone side-scrolling nature of the game, we also have a minor complaint about one aspect of the game's control. You can't jump in the middle of a swing. Think about that for a moment. If you're standing still and you swing your whip, you can't jump until the whip has come all the way back to you. Now that's ridiculous, folks. Ridiculous and frustrating. I mean, really, that is one annoying flaw. So much for realism. The Castlevania
Oh,
series
excuse me,
often
we're back,
sports
my
slightly
dudes.
stiff control, and this game is no exception. However, we should say that the control only feels stiff in that instance. Otherwise, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a pretty decent game. You won't not like it, but it won't make you sing out loud either. Then again, no game does that. The bottom line is, unlike Crash Bandicoot 2, Castlevania does not take old-school gameplay and put it in a flattering 3D
Hello, Mario.
format. Instead, Castlevania just creates
Hello,
more
Dan.
of the same, but enjoyable more of the same.
Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting, and before we get going with our festivities for the evening, I do have a little bit of a thing to promote here for everyone. So right now we are getting close to the release of 2K25, and we have not done anything close to a general manager mode in this game at all. So what we need to do is we need to find a way to actually squeeze it in before the next game comes out. And I figured that the best way to do that would be to call in the support, aka you guys. And what I mean by that is I would like to do a general manager mode that has created characters from the Long Boy Club, or at least characters from, like, you know, other like forms of media. Right now in my Discord server, which you can go to by clicking the link right here, I have a little chat at the bottom of my commons area channel, rather like in the bottom of my commons area category, where people can put their create a wrestler submissions or character suggestions. I will be taking some of those suggestions and all of everybody's custom characters and putting them in that general manager mode to cap off our streams with 2K24. If you would like to get in on that, join the Discord. Join the Discord, because we actually we have stuff like that happening every so often. I have watch-alongs that I have going on every weekend, every Sunday, in fact. Right now we are doing watch-alongs of the Sonic movies. We just watched Sonic 1 on this past Sunday. We're going to do Sonic 2 this coming Sunday, and then after that we're going to do Knuckles Show and then Sonic 3. So yeah, join the Discord. We have a lot of fun over there. And if you have any characters you would like to submit or suggest, go into the submissions for GM mode channel and put them in there. Are you going to do a Sonic Boom watch along? I would like to do a few Sonic Boom episodes. That would be fun. But right now we're doing just the Sonic movie stuff. And then we're going to finish off Ponies, and then we're going to probably do something else. So yeah, I would like to do Sonic Boom, though. I would just need to pick out certain episodes. Is this the end of this storyline? Probably. I know we're approaching the end. I would like to finish it tonight. So that way we can go on to Wrestling Empire. Because that's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, honestly. Alright, cool. Well, we're gonna go and beat up our friend chat here at the what looks to be a ripoff of the Hammerstein Ball. Take your partner apart. I think that meant tear your partner apart. Geneva Rose forgot who's in charge of your career. It's time to remind her. Attack Geneva until the damage meter is full with as much venom as you can muster. Well, I know the perfect music for this chat. Oh, the Hogan leg drop. Dude. Dude, I'm getting my ass kicked. What? Cool. Alright, we gotta strike Geneva in the ring. Sorry for not being on Discord much. It's alright, dude, don't worry. My dog isn't feeling well and I don't know what's wrong with him, and I just feel tired. That's okay, dude. You guys take care of your own shit. You don't need to apologize to me for that. Land 3 combos on Geneva. This music is oddly appropriate. Okay, I was about to say. And grab Geneva in the ring.
If you wanted me back here so bad, why the hell did you push me away to WWE? I didn't think you'd succeed.
You don't even know the fundamentals. Come on now. Striker in the ring again. That's it.
My success? You're jealous of me? I was never jealous of you! I was jealous you brought more of yourself to WWE than you ever brought to me! Like a million faces, I've recognized them all. One by one, they all go the number as they fall. In the face of reason, I can't take no more. One by one, they all go.
Come on, you're a Titan. You can't fall to that. That's some that's some real end game stuff there.
You feel any better now? That you forced me back here? Ugh.
No. And I hurt like hell.
Ugh. Same.
Now that makes me feel better.
You just needed to fight someone?
You always wanted me to try new things. Push myself harder, level up. Aren't you happy that I finally started taking real chances?
I am. I would have been happier if you'd done it sooner.
Bros being bros.
Maybe I wasn't ready yet.
Maybe I wasn't able to push you far enough.
But you did.
Toxic masculinity,
all of this,
SMH.
Geneva. You were the one who pushed me to the tryout, who pushed me to accept Regal's offer.
I just didn't realize what I was giving up. Who I was giving up.
You never gave me up. Besides, I'm here now, aren't I?
Nah. You're fired.
What?
We're getting you back to where you belong.
Well, never gave her up or let her down, ran around or deserted her. None of the above. There was also a Rickroll in Spider-Man 2, chat. There was a Rickroll in Spider-Man 2, and I rolled my eyes at just how goofy it was. Why didn't they start kissing? They looked like they were. That mutant has a family. Does she? Well, actually, no. Hold on. We got to think about that. We got to think about the lore there. No. Yes, you know what? We kissed them. I don't know. It seems kind of gay. Okay, I need to go to bed. Good night, Steph. Good night, Chet. She has a brother. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot my own fucking lore. Homoerotic undertone seems normal for professional wrestling. I mean, that really is just wrestling in a nutshell. You hear about Ninja Gaiden 4? I don't follow Ninja Gaiden. Sorry. Wrestling is such a gay form of entertainment. Exactly. It's really strange. It's really gay. Like, a lot of people don't realize how, like, weird or autistic you need to be to, like, enjoy wrestling, right? Because it's such like a niche form of entertainment.
It's not going to be easy to get you back to WWE.
I'll do whatever it takes. Extra work, another tryout, even a sincere social media play.
Oh my god.
I'm totally kidding. Regal's been calling me every
Gina
day
makes
to release you from the contract.
Gina makes an apology video.
I happen to know from him that Becky needs a challenger for the Women's World Championship at Wrestlemania.
I hate you right now.
Love you too. Listen, since I'm more or less the reason you're in this position in the first place.
More or less?
Okay, entirely the reason you're in this position in the first place, okay? I'll handle all the arrangements and annoying contractual paperwork.
She's better. Well, hopefully she doesn't pick up a ukulele.
Surprise mystery opponent return at WrestleMania.
Wow, this is gonna be huge. Thank you. You should, put the contract on a napkin.
I'm coming and I'm coming hard.
Maybe I will. You've had a number of personalities in your WWE career. What you need to decide now is how you want to return at WrestleMania.
Something original.
I've spent my whole career marching to the beat of my own drum, and my WrestleMania return's gonna be no different. I'll put together something new.
I respect that. Just make sure you have your gear and entrance plan all set by WrestleMania. You sure you can handle that?
Oh, we can handle it. Or sponsor a terribly moldy Lunchables knockoff. Darn, I was hoping for Supernatural. Lock in original player attire.
Don't worry, I'll have it ready. And this time, I want you by my side.
Alright, chat. You will play the role of Geneva.
Come with me to WWE. It's clear you can still go in the ring, or they can definitely use you backstage. You could run circles around Troy.
Okay.
Hey, Steph, say Giraffe Steph maximize. Does that work for you?
I can't.
We both know Regal will sign you.
It's not about Regal.
Father, why are you a robot?
Uh-oh.
He's been growing since you left, and the co-branded WWE show pushed us even further. I belong here, promoting the next generation of wrestlers. I've got to go my own way. You go yours.
This feels worse than before. More final.
Hey, sometimes you've got to have an ending.
It's a maximal.
Right.
Giraffe Steph maximize.
WrestleMania. I'll just be in the crowd, cheering my lungs out.
Aw. They're so cute. Kiss. 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 Alright, chat, I think that we're at the end here. You know what it's time for. We need that WrestleMania entrance, baby. Alright. Walk with me, chat. Who wants to walk with Gina? I think it's time for us to do it, chat. First off, we need the appropriate attire here. But first we need music. Let me get some background music going. Do not give her a guitar. Oh, but we like Jeff Jarrett here. Seth was always a robot, sometimes the voice module breaks. Very true. I wonder who did that. Let's see here. So first off, what kind of gear are we going to use here? We gotta go big, right? Do we have anything that's like generic? That's Bianca Belair. That's just Bianca Belair. Okay, fine. We got the bedazzled cups there. Just like weird lingerie stuff. That. What kind of gear are we gonna use? Gear are we gonna use? We should make something that's like a homage to her brother. Honestly. So we need something that's like a homage. Long boys wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Slim Jim Cons. Destroy the evil forces of the list of the Slim Jim Cons. Snap into a Slim Jim, you're banned. No. So Gira's gear was like predominantly. Let me check my archives. Hold on. Back in the old days. Our worlds are in danger. That's how Triple H says gear. Gira. Absolute peak. We try and get the 2K24 stuff up here. Oh my god, this is crazy. Okay, it was like yellow. It was like yellow, purple, and white, chat. And he also had gloves on. So we're gonna do that, okay? I am the game. It was like predominantly white. And it was like a light yellow, right? It was like this, almost. I feel like it's gotta be purple here. Like that. That's good. And the gems. The gems. We'll keep some of that original flair in there, too. Ooh. We got, like, Amber in there, chat. That's good. She's going to Wrestlemania in the middle of the ring, and she's gonna kick the ass of the man. Find the 4 Cyber Cheeto keys before the Slim Jim Cons can use them for evil. It is our mission. Custom images. Oh, this is gonna suck some ass, chat. Let's try and make it work. To the back. Bring it around town. Does it work, chat? I don't know if it works. I'm honestly not convinced. I'm not convinced. Does it? You think it works? You think it works? Yes, the Long Boy Club logo on the back. Okay. Okay. We'll go with it. I'm gonna emboss it in there. Ah, that looks sick, actually. Give her long pants. NWO style. Could put it on her butt instead. Why not both? Longest prime wielder of the Cheeto of leadership. Honestly cursed. Wrestling tights. Your long pants. Long pants. Long. We need the long boys. What the frick? No. 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 Double long boy club logos. The hell you say? Dare believe it. Or something like this, maybe? No. HBK. It was like RVD. No, RVD wears like a singlet. Doesn't wear These are literally the pants he wore. I like the belt buckle. She can take off her weight belt and use it as a weapon. This right here is literally the pants that Kira wore. Hey, hey, I'm back at the most opportune time too. So like, do we want a belt, chat? I'm getting the sense that we want a belt, some kind of belt. Am I right to think that? I like the vibe of this. This one's good. Yes, give her the belt. Give her the belt. Aw, chat, it looks good, doesn't it? Check that out. It's like an homage to her brother, but it's like also her own thing. Gira returns spiritually. He's also in support of her sister, of his sister.
Hello, Mario.
Games, hi, we're getting our Wrestlemania
Harvey,
attire.
you're back.
Hey, I'm back, yes. How are you, Steph? I'm good. How are you? We're putting in the Long Boy Club on Gina's ass. How's that look, chat? I'm not gonna lie. I think we're cooking. We're cooking, chat. We're doing something. Nice butt. Oh damn, WrestleMania time. Perfect timing for me, I guess. LOL. We're repping that LBC logo. Who's the opponent? Becky Lynch. She looking like WrestleMania royalty. I think we need new boots too, chat. Do we need them like with the belts too? Do we need those with belts? Oh my god, we could do the high heels? That's crazy. What kind of shoes do we want, chat? Me thinks you need a glorious looking coat for the entrance attire. I'm right there with you, sister. I gotcha. Lynch doesn't stand a chance. He's got a front row seat, Gira, and a big box of spotted popcorn. Spotted? What kind of coating does he use? Oh, the late chat. Chat, we gotta go the Kingdom Hearts route of just like choosing one design element and just going whole hog with it. So with that in mind, I feel like we gotta do laces, right? Piss laces. Oh no, now I'm gonna think they're terrible. Shit. I think we need a different knee pad too, right, chat? Or do we even need knee pads? Do we need pads? Oh my god, what are these? That's sick as hell. That's like knight armor. Giraffe-themed popcorn. Well, like, what kind of seasoning would you put on that? Is that like a cheese seasoning? Do we need pads? I mean... Ooh! What's that? It's like flowers. A GTS with those bad boys. Holy shit, you're right! You're right. That's extravagant. I'm kind of digging them now that you put that idea in my head. Do it. Alright, I'm doing it. We're still going with the We're still going with the purple. Oh, she's looking so good, chat. I feel like we need to change the upper body too. It's so over for Becky. Peach likes pink, and Princess Daisy likes purple. I like purple too, but guess what mine is? Guess what my favorite color is? Oh my god, we can put these on
It's
her
almost
too?
time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
No, it's not. Green? Yippee! I like green. Chat, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just like look up Luigi favorite color. Actually, hold on. Luigi favorite color meme, and then you'll get it. It's something like this.
It's like pink, and Princess Daisy like...
I need to make sure you can hear it. It's this.
It's purple. It's like pink, and Princess Daisy likes purple. I like purple too, but my favorite color. Guess what mine is?
I'm sorry, what?
Guess what
My favorite color is...
Is it green?
Yippee!
Guess what my favorite color is?
Is it green?
Yippee!
It's the most fucked up Luigi impersonation you've ever heard. It's the craziest Luigi impression you've ever heard. Right, we need to find we need to find the thing, chat. We need to find an arm piece. Green, red, and black bandana repping Kenyan flag. Yes. I don't know if there is the Kenyan flag in here. If there is, we'll put it on there. Flags. What does the Kenyan flag even look like? Hold on. Kenya. Okay. If I see that, we'll put it on there. I don't know if they'll have it. Hey, there it is! Immediately, we found it. Hi, Henway. Well, we found it, chat. There it is. It looks a little fucked up, doesn't it? Doesn't look like something that's like natural. It's like the composition. This is genuinely like my favorite part of like any of these playthroughs, chat. Making the WrestleMania attire. Hi, stinky cat. Kenya's flag kind of rules. Okay, but is it as good as the Maryland state flag? Try full mapping it. Oh! Okay. I see the vision. I can see the vision, chat. Wow. NWO theme music or we riot. I feel like we gotta keep the normal music, right? That's hard as fuck. It is, though. Wait, hold on. Do we want it in the back or the front?
It's almost time for a 90 seconds Cheetos
I can avoid
break,
it one
my
more
dudes.
time. One more time, I can avoid it. Yes, NWO theme music. Do we want the NWO entrance too? Channeling the Kenyan ancestors to win at WrestleMania. See, even the mods are with me. Fair enough. Are you gonna give her a WrestleMania worthy entrance as well? Of course I will. But first we need to make sure that she's ready for the big event. What? No, that's fucked. We're only doing it on the one arm. That's my streamer. Feels strong, man. Kind of want painted nails too, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I want those painted nails. Give me that hand. Let me see it. Wait, can we, like, change, like, the individual colors? No, come on, dude. That's my streamer, Angina. That's my Hoshi. Channeling the Giraffe King spirit, starring James Earl Jones. Kira's not dead, though. Wait, hold on. I forgot. Gira had gloves. Something like that, right? I feel like that's the kind of thing we want, right, chat? Or this, like, cybernetic thing or whatever the heck it is. That goes hard. Not gonna lie. Oh, the leopard skin. Dude, that goes back to what we were doing earlier. Let's do it. Throwback. The Giraffe King is Gira and Gina's dad. I like that. Sev is cooking. I always do. Let's see here. He's an old school Kenyan backyard wrestler. We need to, like, think of what a Kenyan backyard wrestler is. Do they just, like, go out into, like, the safari and they and they just, like, suplex lions or something? They recorded his matches on Super 8. What, like the hotel? I wouldn't wish that upon anybody, honestly. Now, does it go big enough, chat? Is there anything we're missing before we go to break? Anything at all? Speak now or forever hold the peace. Some fur, maybe? Fur where? Like on the, like on the wrestling attire? Because we're gonna do the entrance attire next. Speak now or forever hold your peas. You can try to do like upper arms. See what's there. Yeah, I think for the ring attire this slaps. Cool. This is what we're going with then. Ring attire done.
Oh my god!
Is that what this makes you feel like? Wait, chat. I have something else for you. I got something else for you. About hair dye. We want to dye hair, chat? Or is that too much? Give her a fur boa like that jabroni
It's almost
Hulk
time for a
Hogan.
90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Or does she not do dye? We'll think about it over break, okay? Rob rolls on after this.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
We wish we could show you all the cool secrets of 1080 snowboarding. New tracks, giving your
Gitsy has
character
been
a body of
enhanced.
ice,
I gotta
the head of a
stretch, hold
panda,
on.
Or a snowboard shaped like a penguin. We're not joking either. These nifty bonuses can only be accessed if you beat the game in every mode on the expert level. In other words, forget about it. 1080 has two basic principles, racing and performing tricks. Two modes offer racing, another two offer tricks, and yet another provides two-player action. Obviously, the tricks are harder to master, but Nintendo deserves a big fat kiss for basing all the stunts around the B button, not having dozens upon dozens of random combination moves like so many other games. Even the hardest move, the 1080 Air, is manageable under this system. The game is still hard though, like Diddy Kong Racing. The control is very accurate, and you'll perform best if you swish from side to side as you go, as well as look at the direction of the snowboard, not your character, to get your angling exact. The game's best feature is the graphics. Each level has the look and feel of being one with nature. The lighting is oh so gorgeous. You'll need a bib to catch the drool from admiring the landscapes, complete with shortcuts and hidden paths.
Oh, excuse me, we're back,
1080
my dudes.
snowboarding is the best game on the Nintendo 64 so far this year. And while that's not saying much for the system, it is saying a lot for the game. Its only faults are length, only 6 racing courses, and the lack of chasmic jumps. Chasmic may not be a real word, but it should be. We want huge, imaginative jumps that keep you airborne for 10 seconds. Is it realistic? Heck no, but realism is getting boring in video games. Oh, before we forget, the character selection screen is kinda cool. Each snowboarder is hanging out in the ski lodge. Makes sense, huh?
Hey, welcome back to
Even in the
Raw,
few moments
everyone.
you'll spend there, you'll notice how
Natural
each
hair,
one
I
has
say.
a
Orange has always been
distinctive
good enough for her.
personality, not just in
Much
what
like
he's
her
doing,
brother.
but in his voice
Probably
as
their
well.
father and mother as well.
Unfortunately, the
Chat, do
game
we need to
includes
like go
no
back to
female
old wrestling
snowboarders,
games and
the
like tell
Canadian
the story of their
snowboarder would have
dad?
been a real treat. A lot more exciting than the
Do we need to go
incorporation of
to
Tommy
Shut Your
Hilfiger
Mouth and Here
clothes.
Comes the Pain
By the way,
and,
if I
and
mispronounce the
develop
name,
their
you can
father
chalk it
too?
up to my age and pure
Their
apathy.
their father
At first we
Gerald
thought 1080 was a quick, albeit excellent
or
thrill
Jeffrey.
ride, which due to its mere 6 courses was not worth $60. Although not every part of each mode
They all need
takes
to start
place on
with
an
G,
actual
okay?
course, all modes are worth your attention. While motor racing games are stuffed with extra modes of play, they don't have the relevance that 1080's
Or the
modes
mother
possess.
Geraldine.
One mode seems simple at first, until you realize
We
you
gotta-
have to perform several tricks in a row.
His
and
name
stick
was
the
G
landing.
Raf since it
If
was
you don't, your score
since it was
goes
the
to 0.
90s.
1080 will keep you busy for a while.
I'm pretty
so
sure I
even
heard his
non-sports fans
mixtape
may
at one
want to
point.
buy it. Congratulations, Nintendo. Once again, you've snuck another surprise hit into the world of gaming.
I heard him on King of the Mischievous South, I'm pretty sure. Have you ever seen Ugandan mud wrestling? Yes. Yes, I have, in fact. I saw the Ugandan wrestling fed that may or may not be a scam. Did he collab with Ron the Truth Killings? Perhaps. Well, Gina's ring attire is done, chat. The ring attire's done, but now we need to give her her entrance attire. We gotta give her the entrance attire, chat. The upper body, we gotta give her something fuzzy, alright? Give her dark. Don't worry, I already know the sunglasses that she's getting. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, let's just give it to her now. Let's see here. Glasses, masks? No. Mask, maybe. We'll see. Something like that. These right here are Gira's glasses, okay? So we could do that. Or we can do the Bret Hart thing. Which are these. I imagine the Giraffe King wrestled in those types of rings. Henry is being very cute right now, chat. Can you help me out here? She got those there wraparound sunglasses. A visor. No, that's a little too nerdy. That's a really satisfying color, chat. That's looking good. Imagine the Giraffe King wrestled in those types of matches. Pet Henry. Hi, Henry. How are you? He's being very cute on my end right now. Ooh. He's like reaching up to me. Red homage is always important when you're a baby face. True that. Very true. These covers. Okay, those are the glasses. Now we need the upper body. No, we don't need the ship captain. You don't need the ECW ref shirt. Oh my god, they have like ref shirts for everyone. Oh my god. Oh my god. They just have these ref shirts for everybody? That's crazy. She needs a fur boa. Giraffe themed. Fair enough. About neck accessories. Will we find it there? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Her hair is becoming a tarantula, chat. That's crazy. Find something different. Let's find something a little different. That's scary. Oh my god. That thing looks like it's about to take off to outer space, chat. Ah, but it... Dude, it's cooking, though! It looks like it's gearing up to leave this planet. Butterfly. Backpack. No, that doesn't make any sense. No, we're not doing that. Why is it shaking so much? It's alive. Hand's so cold I keep losing the last letter of my message when I type SMH. Why are you cold? No, we don't need that. She has, like, battle armor. I like that. What the... You got more fur stuff here, chat. That's like a belly button piercing. Like samurai greaves. Suspenders. I don't really think this is where we need to be for, like, shirts. It's 35 degrees in the south, and there's a ton of air leaking in from outside. Oh, no. I'm sorry. My best wishes to you. I know that shit is unseasonably cold down south right now. Yeah, we need something that's, like, sleeveless. I wish we could have the font as, like, Wait. Wait! Wait! Chat! Chat, I'm cooking. I'm cooking. Just ride with me, okay? Just let me try something, okay? Let me try something. Let me try something. We gotta make it black. First off. This will be a black... This will be logo on black. Okay? But just ride with me, okay? Is there NWO font? Bruh. No, but we got this SpongeBob ass font here. God, no. No. It's over, chat. Listen. We're riding, Chief. Okay. You see where I'm going with this? Do you see the vision, chat? I really hope you see the vision. See. I wish I made it larger. Where the long boys come to play. Let me cook. We need to, like, contain it, like, in a square, too, right? Yeah, you fucking know it. You fucking know it. You know it. You know it. We need to move the C up, too. That's the fucking sauce! We're cooking with the garlic salt now, chat. We found it. We need to, like... We need to encase it, like, in a square, right? Images. Designs, I think, is what you need to go to. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Dude, it looks like a convincing bootleg. It legitimately looks like a convincing bootleg. But no, I need to move it up even further, dude. I need to move all of this up further. I need to move it around. I need to move it around the boob area. Hold on just a second. Again, if you guys want the NWO music, we need to go whole hog, okay? We need to, like, commit, right? We need to commit to the bit. Otherwise, what are we doing? We cannot make this half-hearted. It's WrestleMania. Go big or go home, right? I'm gonna remove this bit, though. Long boy. Love. Oh, it's looking so good, chat. The NWO at home. Fuck that. The NWO is the NWO at home. Give this woman the full NWO treatment. We must. Alright, we'll do it then. She looks so good! Long boy love for life. For life. Can you out for life on the bet? Wait. Oh no, I missed it. I missed it. I can go back in there. You gotta put for life on the back on the tank top, please. Okay, but first 2K24 needs to take forever to load. When Spider-Man 2 literally does pinpoint fast travel, it takes you there instantly. It's the stupidest thing. God, it looks good. Dude, from a distance, this looks awesome. That looks great. Should the 4 or life be bigger? Which one should be bigger, chat? 4 or life? Or should they be in, like, equal measure? For life. Ah! Hell yeah! Oh, hell yeah! Oh, hell yeah! Dude! 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 Holy shit. Ooh, yeah! Alright. With that done now, it is time to give the WrestleMania entrance. Jim Ross wouldn't know how to call Gina. He'd be flabbergasted. The sheer aura on display would put him in a coma. Which, you know, JR already commentates in the modern day like he's comatose. So, there's that. My God, business is about to pick up. Business is always up when Gina's on top. Okay. Aura. Does she need the Hollywood Hogan entrance? Alright, where's Hollywood Hogan? No, I don't know, chat. Not what I'm going for. The Hollywood Hogan entrance, LMAO. It just does it doesn't work for me, chat. That doesn't work for me, brother. Hey, hey. Fuck yeah. Does she still come in like a badass? Or is that not really what she's doing? How about the icon? How about Sting? That would work if we had like the video, right? What's wrong with Kaiju Killer, chat? Are we not doing that? Kevin Nash, maybe? Let's try. Ah, but it's the best one. Can she come in on an elevator surrounded by flames? I love the vocal sampling. Do I have Scott Hall? Let's check. Ah, it looks good, chat. Yeah! The ossicones! You get the back of the shirt, too. You got the symbol. It's everything, chat. Now here's what I'm going to elect that we do as well, okay? We need pyro, okay? The long bad girl. Which one has, like, flames coming down the aisle? Drew? I'm thinking Drew, chat. Let's try it. Fuck yeah. Oh, that's sick. Wow. That's so cool. In sync with the Too Sweet too. Yeah, like you can time that shit. Now we need more when she gets into the ring. Okay? We need that diesel pyro. Either that or like... Wait, no, I got it. I got it. We need Sean. We need Shawn Michaels. Try that. When she does the little thing, it goes off. All right, chat. Let's watch it from start to end. By God, she's a star. We also need a filter, chat. We need, like, a thematic filter. We need, like, a colored filter. Some kind of thing like that. Gold, maybe? Yellow? Let's see what our options are. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, chat. We cooked. We did it. We did it. We fucking did it. Wow. That poor boa has such terrible collision. It does. I think gold is what we want, chat. Who needs an
It's
Ula
almost
follow
time
when you
for
have
a
the
90
LBC
seconds
boa,
Cheetos
brother?
break, my dudes.
No, hopefully it's not. Okay, I can snooze. I can do a quick snooze. Alright. I gotta go down to the timeline, chat. Or does it need to be, like, just like that from the entire... Wait, no. It's fucking WrestleMania entrance. It's gotta be, like, when she comes out, right? So will this be, like, the whole... Will this be up there the entire time? Okay, we need it there for, like, the entire time. Wow, hey. We can mix, like, colors. What happens if we mix blue and gold? Can we get purple? Oh, we can! Let's do that. I'm doing that, chat. Oh, the Jimi Hendrix sampling here. Yeah, I'm gonna get... Yeah, this stream is not gonna see the light of day, chat. I hope... I hope we're all having fun. Wow, hey. Oh, it's cooking so hard. You never thought that we could cook with this much seasoning, but we did it. No! Wait, hold on. Wait, the blue is just the purple. That's like closer to a blue. I mean, that's closer to a purple than it is a blue, chat, right? So you can't, like, mix colors. The blue just looks like purple for some reason. Like that's, I mean, that's not blue, right? Like that's purple. That's Princess Daisy's favorite color. Princess Daisy likes purple. Gina is God. Purple. Well, I think we're done, chat. I don't think we need to do anything else with this entrance. I think we're good on this front. I don't think there's any more work to be done. I think we're good. We have cooked enough here. It's ready for Mania. Wow, hey. Cool. Got to say.
It's almost time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
And it couldn't have come in a better time.
I'll do whatever. I hate you right now.
Love you too.
More or less.
Okay. Entirely the reason you're in this position in the first place. Okay.
Wow.
Maybe.
We cooked an entire bouquet. Something original. We just spent like an hour making this. You better give it to us.
Don't worry. And this time?
By your side?
Come with me to W.
Oh, okay.
We both know
It's not a...
this feels...
Hey.
We cooked an entire banquet, and we're gonna feast on it here. We have cooked, and now an ad comes. And it will come during an actual break. I'll see you guys in a few minutes, okay?
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes? Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
I was over here crunching nuts, chat. You didn't want to hear that. Anyways, welcome back to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. Let's say we actually finish this up, huh? Let's say we put a bow on this whole story of Gina. Have her go out with a bang, you know? It is time for Wrestlemania. An opponent of Mr. Regal's choosing. You better let me come out, dude.
Kayla Braxton here, just hours from the official start of Wrestlemania with Women's World Champion Becky Lynch, who still doesn't know the identity of her mystery opponent tonight. Becky, Are you at all worried that not being able to prepare for a specific opponent will leave you at a disadvantage?
It's like the most robotic
I know a thing or two about disadvantages, Kayla. But what
cutscene
I know
I've ever
about
seen.
disadvantages are overcoming and rising above them. Case in point, after my injury at War Games, I came back better than before. Dispensed of the person responsible for that injury so hard that she had to leave WWE. And then made quick work of Bianca Belair and the Women's World Championship. I may not know who my opponent is tonight, but I know this. I'm walking out of WrestleMania WWE Women's World Champion.
Cool. We had to come back for that, huh? Boo, yeah. Fuck her. There's only one.
Is scheduled for one fall, and is for the WWE Women's World Championship.
Move out of the way, Becky. A real star is about to come down the aisle. But we gotta... Yeah, exactly. Boo! Well, I wonder if it'll be Gina. Oh, and it's nighttime, chat. We're like late into the card, at least. Champ first, huh? Yeah. Because they know that this roof is about to come off of the Pontiac Silverdome here in Los Angeles, California. For that bitch. The long girl, Gina. Yes, right here's main event material here. Night 1 main event. Don't boo anymore. No more booing. I'm doing the signal back here, chat. The bright lights of Hollywood. Don't.
Becky Lynch is ready to start throwing hands. And she has every right to. Trying to sabotage the man's WrestleMania moment by bringing Cap back at the last second deserves a punch in the mouth.
Come on. Come on, Corey.
Becky Lynch tonight. She's standing eye to eye with destiny.
As we speak, buy rates are going through the roof, and all you can say is punch Regal in the mouth. Lil Jimmy is begging his mom to buy WrestleMania because he just got a text saying that Gina came back. Their friend Jonathan can't believe it. He's frothing at the mouth.
Introducing the challenger from Kenya, Long Girl.
Fuck yeah.
And her opponent,
I'm gonna have the LBC shut the fuck up.
WWE Women's World Champion.
The Long Boy Club for Life shirt. Now available at the merch stand. Those fucking merch guys are like scrambling, right? They just got the stock.
Take one final look at what this match will be all about. The decorated Women's World Championship.
The decorated, it's got like 3 champions for it, but now we're about to get 4 of them.
WrestleMania saw her claw her way from the indies to the top, only to be hurled.
Unleash your full potential and defeat Becky Lynch by pinfall or submission.
She's here on the grandest stage of them all.
Ah, the Kenyan flag looks great, chat. We need what I'm made of. We're stenciling in LPC.
Still no end in sight here. Wait to see her clear. She's pumping herself herself up, reaching out for that burst of energy.
Come on! Come on, Becky, it's Mania. Bring your best. Holy shit! Power bomb on the apron. Oh, well, holy shit! Ow! We gotta have a 10-minute match, chat. What the? Oh my god! Disarm her! Disarm her. Trading signatures! Oh god! We need the indie punches. Come on, Becky. Oh, 1 count.
The challenger fending off the 2 count. She is still in this fight. Seated drop kick connects.
Second, disarm her. A pin off a strike exchange would have been so funny. It would have. Power bomb! No!
And look at the disbelief on the face of the champion. They both know what's at stake. Neither competitor is going to lose easy here. You have to imagine the gears are turning in Becky's head, wondering what she has to do now to end this.
Becky Lynch looking to embarrass her opponent.
To the outside. This could get wild.
What? Becky, are you okay? Pretty sure she's not.
precious time in the ring. Taking it to the floor. What's she gonna do?
No. One more power bomb. Whenever someone lifts the long girl, I say how exactly. It's impossible. There you go. I wanted to give Becky a little bit of offense.
The sky's the limit for this superstar, who's proven she's ready to not only put her body, but her whole heart on the line when it comes to this business.
I love to see you get nostalgic, Byron. Thinking about the past.
I'm thinking about the future. What personalities will she bring? What epic battles will she fight? What will she unleash upon the WWE Universe?
I guess we'll find out. Soak it in, Cap. You deserve this moment. For Byron Saxton and Corey Graves, I'm Michael Cole. This is your new champion, and this is WrestleMania.
WrestleMania goes off the air with that. Oh my god, the fireworks continue. Incredible. That's it. And just a US title won on a random SmackDown. Cool. 7-minute match, and that's what we get. Undeniable. Complete both of the story modes. You completed the Unleash MyRise story. You can replay Unleashed and make different choices to experience alternate outcomes. Play optional content you might have skipped, or go and play the Undisputed story if you haven't already. You can also export your MyRise character to use in other modes. Well, cool. That was pretty much what I expected, honestly. It does, ow. It does feel a touch anticlimactic, but after last year's women's storyline and after, let's see here. After we got...
and see if you can throw a giant gold ring around a long
after,
neck, ladies and gentlemen.
After we had the big cluster of an ending that was the men's MyRise. You suck.
Or maybe
upload Gina.
You owe me $10 either way.
Do I upload Gina, chat? I'm pretty sure I upload Gina. You know what? I'll upload Gina. And then we'll go and raid someone. This will be downloaded by 3 people, and 2 of them will be me. Alright, chat. I'll download both of them. Both of them. You'll download both of these nuts. They use an old render for Indy Hartwell. Oh my god. I upload the Typhoon and Shining Wizard. do I upload the main 6 as well? Wait, where is she? Wait. The Typhoon got downloaded 20 times? Huh? Dude, who the heck is downloading him? I apparently have diamond rank on community creation. Didn't you download Gina? Am I crazy? Yeah. Can I not put it back in there? Chat. I don't think I can do it. I don't know if I can do it, chat. Keebs is gonna need to... This will just have to be something between me and Keebs. The Typhoon is a hit? Evidently. Chat! I don't think I can do it! I don't think I can do it, chat!
Serotonin, please.
No! Oh, I need the serotonin after this realization. You only need 35 to get diamond rank? That's a very low ceiling. I think Keys will have to big sad. Ah, I can't believe this. Wait, look up the Giraffe Step tag. She should be there. What? She should be there? Huh? Well, yeah, but like, that's like the one that we had before we decked her out, you know? That's like the shit that we had for her before we like decked her out in this playthrough. Look up the Giraffe Step tag. Okay, I got it. I got it. Giraffe Step. There you go. Let's try it. There she is. There's Gina. So who here downloaded Shining Wizard? Upload time. That was back in May of last year. What? Chat. That's impossible. Wow. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna do it now. Well, just look up the Giraffe Step tag and you'll find a primordial version of Gina, I guess. Have fun, chat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry I can't give you the version that we made in this story mode. Shit. Okay, well, you know, I think that's a pretty good place to end it off, chat. This has been fun. This has been a fun playthrough. Damn, Corbin and Indy on the screen for creations, both gone from the company. And then you have Carmelo, who hasn't been seen in ages. Slap that shit up on Poorly Aged. Okay, let's see who we have streaming right now. Kind of going through, seeing who I would want to raid. We can raid to my friend Riley. He's playing Potionomics right now. Which looks like a weird kind of simulate. Oh my god, it's a deck builder. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Dora. Yeah, that was the primordial. Yeah, that was like Gina, like in the primordial soup. You know? That was like Gina, like in the primordial soup before we decked her out. Hagen, good stream. Thank you, Steph. Thank you. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for being a part of this journey, everyone. We're gonna go and raid over into my friend Riley. Long Boy Club. Love is the one, as per usual. And here's the one if you have a sub. And there's the version of it if you have a sub, or if you're me. Thank you all, everyone. We'll be back on Saturday with more Yakuza Like a Dragon. And on next Thursday, we will be starting our run of either SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 or Wrestling Empire. One of the two. We'll see where the chips fall. And I'll see you on Saturday. Bye.